Alright, so I'm sure you guys will be happy to hear that this will be a very short video because you know most of the steps to do this already. How to solve quadratic equations by factoring. Alright, so first things first. If you know the product of two numbers is 0, what do we know about the two numbers? So, for example, if 3 times a is 0, what do you know about a? And similarly, if 128 times b equals 0, what is b? Okay, the zero product property tells us that a, if you have one number and another number equaling 0, when they're multiplied, a equals 0, or b equals 0, or both. Therefore, so using this property, if a times b equals 0, similarly, if you have x plus 2, which could be representing by your a, and x plus 3, which could be representing your b, equaling 0, then it makes sense that either x minus 2 equals 0, or x minus 3, or x plus 3 equals 0, or both. Alright, so we can use this to solve quadratic equations. So, first step, factor. In order to solve by factoring, obviously you have to factor. So for factoring x squared minus x equals 12, this one right here, our first step is to factor. Since my last number there is negative, I know that I'm going to have one negative and one positive. And factors of 12, that give me negative x, negative 4, and 3. So knowing that is equal to 0 tells me that x minus 4 equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0. Now, step 3, solve each linear equation. So, if x minus 4 equals 0, solving that, pulling that down here, I can add 4 to each side to get x all by itself, and x will equal 4. Doing it similarly with x plus 3 equals 0, subtract 3 from both sides to get x equals negative 3. So you can check these answers by plugging them back in, by taking them and putting them back up here into this step, or even better, if you want to check the fact that you had it factored, you could take this and plug it up here into your original equation, the x squared minus x equals 12, to figure out whether or not you did it correctly. So doing so, I'm just going to try it with one of my variables. So I'm going to try it with x equals 4. So 4 squared being 16, minus 4 minus 12 equals 0. Let's see. 16 minus 4, that's 12, minus 12 equals 0. So that checks out, A-OK, works out. You'll get a similar answer with x equals 3. Alright, now it's time to try it out a little bit. So, if you'd like to pause the video at this time and try these out on your own, I definitely encourage you to do that, or you can follow along as I do them. I'm going to start with this first one here, x squared minus 6x plus 12 equals 2. Now your first step, you want to make sure that you get it equal to 0, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense. You can't use the zero product property if you don't have it equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 2 to both sides, giving me x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. Now it's time to factor. I have a negative 3 and a negative 3. Okay, so same idea here. X minus 3 equals 0, and I'm only going to write it once because I see that it's written twice already. X equals 3. Now I could solve for the other one and also get x equals 3. But x equals 3 is the same as x equals 3, so I'm not going to do it twice. So final answer, x equals 3. Alright, moving on, I'm going to try out this guy right here. And like I said, it must be in standard form before you can truly solve by factoring. So I subtracted 12 from both sides. Alright, and since there is a number other than 1 in front of my x squared there, I'm going to use my x property and make sure I get my terms in there. So my first and my last multiplied together and my middle on the bottom there. And the terms that complete this, that make this true, are going to be 9x and 4x. Take away 4x. Alright, so copying this back down, 3x squared, I'll put my 9x there, minus 4x minus 12 equals 0. Make sure to keep that equals 0 in there. I know it's tempting to lose it since we've only been working with expressions, but the equals 0 is what makes it an equation and what makes it able to be solved. Alright, now grouping these guys, I'm going to put a plus in the middle. Okay, take out a 3 and an x, leaving me with x plus 3 plus, I'm going to take out a negative 4, giving me an x plus 3 equals 0. Alrighty, taking my double, my x plus 3, and multiplying it by what's left, 3x minus 4 equals 0. Now we solve for x, same as we have been. Chunk it out and solve for x. So I'm going to put x plus 3 over here, and I'm going to put 3x minus 4 equals 0 over here. Add 4 to both sides. It's kind of hard to see. Alright, and I get 3x equals 4, which if you divide 3 by both sides, you will get x equals 4 thirds. Alright, and I will also get x equals negative 3. Both of those are possible answers. Make sure you write them both down. Could be either or both. Alright, now last but not least, this corner guy up here. Alright, now even though you're not factoring quite like we did here, or here, you still do need to factor. And you guys have learned to factor out common monomials. So I'm going to take out a 2x, leaving me with x plus 3. Now we do the same thing here that we have been doing, pretending that each of these could be 0. So 2x equals 0, and x plus 3 also could equal 0, and could give me 0 for my entire equation. Now if I divide by 2 here, I'm going to get x equals 0, and subtracting by 3 on both sides here gives me x equals negative 3. Both of those are solutions to this equation. Alright, now that's the end of the video here, so you can get going on your homework. Good luck to you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Good luck.